after 64 daily habits that quietly age you and how to reverse them. Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, when did I start looking this tired, not sick, just older? Like the color has quietly faded from your eyes. I used to think eating healthy and walking every morning was enough. I avoided fast food. I stayed active, but then one morning I caught a glimpse of myself brushing my teeth, and I didn't recognize the man in the mirror. The eyes were dull, the posture sagged, and there was this heaviness, not just in my body, but in my spirit. I was 65, but when a neighbor said I looked closer to 80, it hit me like a brick. Was I really aging that fast, or was I doing something without knowing that was speeding it up? So I started paying attention, and what I found shocked me. It wasn't about age. It was about the tiny habits I repeated every day, the ones I didn't even think about anymore. Those small routines were quietly draining my energy, my strength, even my confidence. In this video, I'll walk you through the 4 everyday habits that may be making you age faster than you should, and the simple changes you can start today to take back control. And I want to be clear, I didn't make this video to scare you. I made it because I've been there. I know what it's like to feel like you're slipping away from the person you used to be. But aging doesn't have to feel like fading. It can feel like choosing. Choosing to pause, to shift, to take back the small things until one day you look in the mirror again and feel proud of who you see. So if you've ever looked at yourself and wondered, where did the old me go? Leave me a comment. Tell me which habit hits closest to home for you. And if you're ready to walk this path with me, click that subscribe button. I'll be here every day like a friend who doesn't let you give up. Let's begin. Habit number 1, sitting too long, the silent thief of strength and years. Let me ask you something personal. How many hours did you sit yesterday? Be honest. Between breakfast, reading the paper, watching TV, maybe scrolling through your tablet, was it more than 6, more than 8? I didn't used to count either. Until my doctor told me something that made my stomach turn. The number of hours you sit each day, he said, is a better predictor of early death than your cholesterol or even your weight. That hit me hard, but I later found out he wasn't exaggerating. A study published by the American Journal of Preventive Medicine showed that adults over 60 who sit more than 7 hours a day have a 60% higher risk of early death even if they exercise regularly. Why? Because long, uninterrupted sitting slows your circulation, weakens your leg muscles, increases insulin resistance, and even speeds up cognitive decline. For me, it started as stiffness, a little trouble getting up from the couch. Then came the wobble in my knees, the shortness of breath after a flight of stairs. I thought it was aging, but it wasn't, it was atrophy. My muscles were quietly shrinking from disuse, and I was helping it happen without even realizing. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest habits to reverse. You don't need a gym. You don't need special equipment. You just need to interrupt the sitting. Set a gentle timer every 30-40 minutes. When it rings, stand up. Stretch your arms, march in place, walk to the kitchen and back. Just a minute or 2 is enough to wake up your blood flow, re-engage your muscles, and tell your body, hey, I'm still here. If you're watching TV, try standing during commercial breaks. If you're reading, place your book on a counter and read a page while standing. Small movements repeated daily have a compound effect. I started with just standing during my morning news. Now I walk for 5 minutes after every meal. My legs feel stronger, my balance is better, and best of all, I no longer dread climbing stairs. We spend a lifetime building our independence. Don't let a chair slowly take it away from you. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly while you think you're resting. But every time you choose to stand up, even just for a moment, you're choosing strength. You're choosing life. So tell me in the comments, how many hours do you think you sit each day? And what's one small change you're willing to try this week? If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. I'll be here every day sharing simple steps like this, because growing older shouldn't mean growing weaker. Not on my watch. Habit number 2, poor sleep habits. When your body sleeps, but your brain doesn't. Have you ever gone to bed tired and still woken up exhausted? Like your body slept, but your brain kept pacing the hallway all night. Let me tell you something that used to scare me more than chest pain or stiff knees waking up in the morning and still feeling worn out. It's a different kind of tired. It doesn't go away with coffee. It's the kind of tired that lingers behind your eyes and in your bones. I used to lie to myself. Maybe I didn't get enough hours, or that show I watched last night kept my brain going. But deep down, I knew it wasn't about one night. This was becoming a pattern. What I didn't know is that sleep problems after 60 are more than common, they're dangerous. The National Institute on Aging confirms that poor sleep in older adults is linked to a decline in cognitive performance mood disorders like depression, a weakened immune system, and even a higher risk of heart disease and stroke. But here's the scary part. It's not just about how long you sleep. It's also about when and how your body prepares for rest. As we age, our brains produce less melatonin. Our circadian rhythms get disrupted more easily. Add in late-night screen time, noisy environments, irregular bedtimes, or too much napping during the day, and suddenly the deep healing sleep we had at 40 becomes rare at 70. For me, the signs crept in quietly. I'd wake up 2 or 3 times a night. I'd forget little things like why I walked into a room, or the name of someone I saw last week. My patience got shorter, I snapped more often, and my motivation dropped. I wasn't sad, but I wasn't me either. Looking back, it wasn't just lack of sleep. It was a loss of mental clarity, of peace, of control. The solution. It didn't come from pills or white noise machines. It came from building a ritual, something my body could recognize as a signal. Now we rest. I began going to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. An hour before bed, I turned off all screens, TV, phone, even bright kitchen lights. I'd make a cup of warm chamomile tea, play soft instrumental music, and do a few minutes of stretching. I read from a book, not a screen, and let my body settle. Within 2 weeks, I noticed a shift. I fell asleep faster. I stayed asleep longer. But most importantly, I felt different. I woke up lighter, less groggy, more patient. I started looking forward to bedtime not as an escape, but as healing. Many people think of sleep as passive, just time lost in the dark. But it's not. Sleep is active. It's when your brain cleans itself, your heart rate resets, your immune system goes to work, your memories get sorted. Sleep is when the body repairs the damage of the day and prepares for tomorrow. Without that process, we don't just lose rest, we lose resilience. So tonight, ask yourself, have you given your body permission to rest? Not just go to bed, but truly prepare for sleep. If not, maybe tonight is a good night to start. Begin with just one small change. Turn off the screen 30 minutes before bed, or dim the lights earlier, or drink warm tea instead of late-night snacks. Tell me in the comments what's one thing you're willing to try tonight. And if this story felt familiar to you, if you've ever stared at the ceiling in the dark, wondering why sleep doesn't come like it used to, you're not alone. I'll be back tomorrow, just like always, with another quiet habit that might be aging you faster than you think. Let's walk through this one night at a time. Habit number 3, not drinking enough water. The hidden drought that ages you from the inside out. Can I tell you something I wish I had understood 20 years earlier? By the time you feel thirsty, it's already too late. That signal, I need water. It doesn't work as well after 60. And if you're like me, you've probably gone most of your adult life ignoring water, unless it came with a meal or a pill. I thought I was doing fine. I drank coffee in the morning, maybe iced tea with lunch, a glass of milk at dinner. But I wasn't drinking water, not really. Then strange things started happening. My knees felt stiffer than usual. I had headaches around the same time every afternoon. My skin, once healthy and soft, started looking thin, papery. But what got me worried was the dizziness. One morning, I stood up from the couch and everything spun. For a moment, I had to grip the wall just to stay upright. I thought it was my blood pressure. It wasn't. It was dehydration. A silent, creeping kind. Here's what I learned from my doctor and later confirmed in a Mayo Clinic article. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at conserving fluids. Our bodies don't send out thirst signals like they used to. Add to that the fact that many older adults take medications that cause fluid loss, like diuretics or blood pressure meds, and it's easy to fall into a low-level state of dehydration without even realizing it. The symptoms can mimic aging itself: fatigue, poor concentration, constipation, dry skin, aching joints, even faster heartbeats. And yet many of us just brush it off as getting older. But it's not age, it's a habit. A habit of not reaching for water when we should. A habit of underestimating what our bodies truly need. I started changing that with something ridiculously simple. I filled a 32-ounce water bottle and kept it where I could see it on the kitchen table right next to my morning paper. I drank one glass before coffee, another mid-morning, one with lunch, and one in the late afternoon. That's it. Nothing fancy, no electrolyte powders, no special filters, just water. And the results. My mind felt clearer. I stopped getting dizzy. My digestion improved. Even my skin started looking better. It wasn't magic, it was hydration. Now I treat water like medicine. Because it is. Every sip is oil for your joints, fuel for your cells, clarity for your brain. Your heart needs it to pump smoothly. Your muscles need it to move. Your brain is nearly 75% water, and when that balance dips, everything else suffers. So why do we wait until we're parched before we drink? I'll be honest, it's not always easy to remember, but it's worth trying. So let me ask you, how many glasses of water did you drink today? Not coffee, not soda, not soup, water. If your answer is, I'm not sure, then maybe like me, you need a small system to help. Maybe it's a pitcher on the table, maybe it's setting a reminder on your phone, or maybe it starts with this video. Leave me a comment and tell me your number. What's your daily water habit really like? And if you're ready to change one simple thing that could help your skin, your balance, your digestion, and your brain, I'll be right here every single day walking with you. Because sometimes the smallest choices, like lifting a glass of water, are what keep us standing tall for years to come. Habit number 4, eating too much salt. The flavor that ages your heart bones and brain. Let me ask you something most people never consider. When was the last time you actually checked how much salt you're eating every day? Not just the salt you sprinkle on your eggs, but the hidden kind. In canned soups, in store-bought bread, in sliced turkey cheese salad, dressing even healthy frozen meals. I'll be honest, at 65, I never once thought salt was my enemy. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't add much at the table. But what I didn't realize was that I was consuming far more sodium than my body could handle, without ever touching the salt shaker. The CDC recommends that older adults consume less than 1,500 millimoles of sodium per day. That's less than 1 teaspoon. But guess what? A single bowl of chicken noodle soup can have 700 millimoles. 2 slices of deli turkey, over 900. Add a slice of whole grain bread, and you're already at your limit, before you've even picked up a fork for dinner. For seniors, this isn't just a numbers game, it's a real dangerous risk. High sodium intake stiffens your arteries, raises your blood pressure, and accelerates damage to the heart and kidneys. It also leaches calcium from bones, making you more prone to fractures. And a study from Johns Hopkins showed that excess salt can reduce blood flow to the brain, potentially affecting memory and cognitive function over time. At first, the signs in me were subtle. Swollen ankles after dinner, ring marks on my fingers from water retention, a racing heart when climbing stairs. I thought it was just aging or maybe the heat. But after one routine checkup, my doctor sat me down and said, "You're not drinking too little. You're salting too much." I remember feeling frustrated. "But I barely use salt," I said. He smiled and replied, "That's what everyone says." That's when I started reading nutrition labels, and suddenly I saw the numbers. 600 milliliters here, 800 milliliters there, 100 milliliters in one frozen entree. I realized my body wasn't tired, it was drowning in salt. So I made changes. I swapped out processed snacks for unsalted almonds. I started flavoring my meals with lemon herbs, garlic, and a dash of vinegar instead of shaking more salt. I found low-sodium canned goods and rinsed them before cooking. I asked for dressings on the side, cooked more meals at home, and began to taste my food before seasoning it. Within weeks, the swelling eased. My blood pressure dropped slightly. My sleep improved. I felt lighter, not just in my body, but in my mind. You don't need to cut out all salt, but you do need to become aware. Because it's not the pinch you add, it's the piles you never see. So let me ask you, when was the last time you checked a food label for sodium? What surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and tell me what's one salty habit you're willing to rethink starting today. And if you found this helpful, if something in here made you pause and say, "I never thought of that," then I'll see you again tomorrow. We're just getting started. Because healthy aging isn't just about big changes. It's about small awareness repeated daily. I'll walk with you through all of them. Bonus want to age backward. Start with these 3 things. After talking about all the habits that quietly age us, I want to leave you with something lighter, something hopeful. Because aging doesn't just happen from the outside, it happens from the inside too. And here's the truth that took me far too long to understand: you can age backward. Not in years, of course, but in strength, in energy, in joy. Let me share with you 3 small things that changed how I feel in my own skin, things so simple you might laugh. But sometimes it's the smallest hinges that swing the biggest doors. First, move gently, move often. I used to think if I wasn't sweating, it didn't count. But at this age, I've learned that slow, regular movement is more powerful than occasional intense workouts. Now I stretch every morning while waiting for the kettle to boil. I walk 10 minutes after each meal, even just around the house. I do simple balance moves while brushing my teeth. And you know what? My legs stopped shaking. My back feels looser. I sleep better. You don't need to run marathons. You just need to tell your body, I still need you. And eat colors, not numbers. I used to count calories, now I count colors. A plate filled with green, red, orange, and purple plants. That's anti-aging medicine. I add blueberries to my oatmeal, spinach to my eggs, turmeric to my tea. I swapped white bread for whole grain soda for herbal infusions and processed snacks for a handful of walnuts. No diets, just food that's alive. And when you eat like life matters, your body responds with energy you forgot you had. Third, connect and laugh. Daily. This might be the most powerful of all. I make it a point to talk to someone every single day, my daughter, a neighbor, even the cashier at the store. I watch something that makes me smile. I find moments to laugh, even if I'm alone. Laughter resets your nervous system. It lowers stress, boosts immunity, even improves memory and connection. It reminds you that you're still part of the world, still valuable, still needed. I'm not saying these 3 things will make you 40 again, but they can make you feel like it. And isn't that what really matters? So if you've made it this far in the video, I want you to know something you're already doing. One thing that keeps you young. You're learning. You're paying attention. You still care. That alone separates you from the crowd. Leave me a comment. Tell me which of these 3 you already do, or which one you'll try starting tomorrow. Closing line. We can't stop time, but we can choose how we age. So now you've heard them all, the 4 silent habits that might be aging you faster than you ever realized. Sitting too long, sleeping poorly, not drinking enough water, and consuming too much salt even without tasting it. Maybe one of them hit close to home. Maybe all 4 did. And that's okay, because awareness isn't blame, it's the beginning. We also talked about 3 small habits that can help you age backward, not in years, but in how you feel. Move gently, eat colorful foods, connect with someone. They don't cost money, they don't take hours, but they give back strength, clarity, and joy bit by bit, day by day. I'm not here to tell you how to live. I'm just a 75-year-old man who's made his fair share of mistakes. But I've also made some quiet changes, and those changes gave me back more than I expected: energy, laughter, confidence, and peace. So if you're still watching, I want to leave you with this. It's not too late, not by a long shot. You're not too old to feel good. You're not too far gone to start fresh. And you don't need to change everything overnight. Just choose one thing today and show up for it tomorrow. That's how change happens: quietly, consistently, kindly. If something in this video spoke to you, if you saw even a little piece of yourself in these stories, then don't let it end here. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're thinking. And if you'd like someone to walk this path with you, hit subscribe. I'll be here every day, not shouting, not selling, just sharing. Like a neighbor who always leaves the porch light on. Take care of yourself today. I'll see you tomorrow.